when I was, many of you don't know this, but I finally found some time and got away for a week of camping with my family, just about a week and a half ago. And we went up into the mountains and we camped. And then my wife's whole side of her family, my in-laws, cousins, uncles on their side, they all converged and kind of did this big camping area. It was really awesome. But there I was, camping with 50 people. We all had our own sites, but you know what happens when you're with family, 50 family. Imagine it's your in-laws. Now, I love my in-laws. They're great. But you know how it is when you're all together. There are things that people will say that may rub you wrong. There are things that people will do or act or how they respond, and it just may set you off. It is natural for that kind of thing to happen. But what I did was I made a conscious effort. Every morning when I camp, I'm usually the early riser. I would get up, I'd go outside, and I would start a little fire. And even though it's hot outside in the mountains, it was cold in the morning. And so I'd start a fire and I'd get that old blue enamel, the camp coffee percolator with the little thing that comes out. It's like what my grandparents had on their stove all the time. And so I'd fill that up and we call it camp coffee, and it's wonderful when you're camping. Probably not any time else, but I make this cup of coffee every morning. I would go sit by the fire and I would sit there and I'd open my Bible and I would begin by spending my moment and my day with the Lord. I made sure that it was substantial and I was inviting him in. Making room for God allowed me to navigate in love and not frustration that entire week. Because you know the old saying, garbage in, garbage out. What we put in, what we bring in is what eventually will come out. See, they prayed and it says they were filled with the Holy Spirit. They asked God, they invited him in. They made room for God. It says they were filled with the Holy Spirit, and then their actions represented that. See, what we allow to come in is what is going to come out. So the question is, in what ways can making room for God help you better navigate your new norm? We're all in it. So how can making room or inviting God in change that, make it better? 2, here's another way to think about it. How can inviting God into your new norm impact others? See, it's not always about us. It's about others too. Inviting God in will allow you to have an impact on others.